it's like new and exciting, your parents are like, what are you listening to? Why is that guy yelling? Tell him to stop. I can't tell him to stop. It's already recorded.
One. This is Bronnie, every Wednesday from 6 p.m. The Bronnie Show on KCC Live.
Fabulous. Okay, what's up, you guys? It's Bronnie, and I'm joined here with Kellin Quinn from Sleeping with Sirens. How's it going?
A shell of myself.
Yes, loving it.
A shell of Kellin Quinn.
So, dude, last time I saw you was Indianapolis. And now we're here in sunny Manchester. So you've kind of been everywhere, really. So how's the tour been? You know, Europe and UK?
It's been amazing. It's been very, very nice to come over here and play some really awesome rock shows. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Although I would be stoked to have a piping cold LaCroix right about now with limoncello or key lime. Would be sick.
So you are touring your latest album, Complete Collapse. So how was it, It's
kind of how it feels to be lost with a couple sprinkled Complete Collapse songs in, just because we put that record out and then COVID hit, so we didn't really get a chance to like actually work that record, so we're playing a lot of songs off that album.
Yeah, awesome. So how was it recording that album?
Which one?
Your latest one.
Oh, Complete Collapse. It was cool. It was pretty chill. I mean, like we had a couple songs going into the recording session, and then one thing I like to do now with making records is like to go like do a couple weeks and then go home for a couple weeks and just kind of marinate on them, because I found that when you're in the studio and you listen to something over and over and over again, and your brain kind of tricks yourself into liking it. Mm-hmm. And then when you go home after a couple weeks, like you decide, do I really like this, or is it just kind of like the placebo effect? So just getting to like know the songs and then going back for a couple more weeks and making sure you have everything. And it's just kind of our philosophy with it now. Yeah.
Do you sometimes get like demoitis where you're kind of so used to the song and then
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Demoitis is real.
Oh, for sure.
Don't let anybody tell you different.
Kellin Quinn 2023. Dude, it is time for your song of the week.
Song of the week.
Yeah. So you can. I'm going to give you two options here. So you can pick a song from. It could be, a song that takes you back to a core memory, or your favorite childhood song, or a song that really inspired you when you were growing up. And then the second one can be a song from any up and coming band, or a recent song.
Yeah. Today it's Shadow People by a band called Dr. Dog. And I went running today, and that was like, I've listened to that whole record, but that song's great. It just kind of puts a little pep in your step, which is something that I need to get through these last few shows. And then One Step Closer by Linkin Park would be just, open the pit up and just...
Loving it. We have the stank face from Chris doing it,
Yeah, open the pit up and just, let it all out. Push somebody, but then pick them back up and give them a hug.
Safety first, loving it. So, I need to quiz you on this song. So, when it was just after you released your album, Madness, one of my favourite albums,
Thank you.
I like to, whenever I go on holiday, I like to, keep an album to just get totally obsessed with. So, I held this album back, and the song came on, and I had goosebumps. It was so hot. Goosebumps nearly just burst into tears. And the song was Madness. Yeah. So, tell me all about it. How was it writing that song and recording it, and...
So that song we wrote because one of the guys that was working our record, he was like an A&R, his name's Craig, and he did he found like My Chem and Jimmy Eat World and Taking Back Sunday and all these bands, and we were working with him, and he ended up passing away from cancer, so it was kind of a song to his memory, and we were just kind of talking about, life in the afterlife and just, all of those things kind of mixed together, and it was just kind of like a fitting tribute because he was just a very magical person. So.
Yeah, it's such a great song. What's it like playing it live? Have you played it live recently?
We've only played it live a couple times, but we're talking about maybe doing like 3 nights in each city where we do a couple records back to back, and that's definitely one that we would love to do front to back.
Yeah, that'll go down so well. So this is a question that I love asking bands just anytime I see them, what made you want to become a musician? Was it like a childhood thing? Have you always wanted to do it? Or growing up, was there certain bands that suddenly inspired you? Was there kind of a defining moment that made you want to go into music? And
I've been dabbling with guitar, so I guess that I can call myself somewhat of a musician now. But my friend Chase back home used to always tell people he was a bass player in a band. He'd be like, yeah, I play bass, but this is my friend Kellin. He just sings, which I always thought was funny. I think, like, for me, just it was like the one thing that I really just gravitated towards. I enjoy writing songs. I enjoy immersing myself in just taking a piece of music and putting words to it. It's something that I've always really loved, and yeah.
What were some of your favorite bands growing up then?
Well, I mean, as you do, you listen to a lot of the stuff your parents listen to at first, or whatever's on the radio, and then you kind of find your own identity. And I think, like, the music that kind of started to infect me was bands that were like on drive-through records, like The Starting Line and Census Fail, and then Finch, and then trickled into The Used and Under Oath, and like right around sophomore year of high school is when I started kind of like really finding my own stuff. And that's probably the best years of your life, when you're first discovering just that kind of music, you know? And it's like new and exciting. Your parents are like, what are you listening to? Why is that guy yelling? Tell him to stop. I can't tell him to stop. It's already recorded.
So our last little game. So you have 1 decade's worth of music to listen to for your entire life.
90s.
90s, yes.
90s and early 2000s. I mean, grunge for sure. New metal, kinda, you know.
Yeah, awesome.
But mostly grunge. And then when you get into the late 2000s, that's when all like the emo and punk stuff started kind of.
Yeah, early 2000s. Oh, grew up with it, loving it. Yeah. Yes. So we are going to finish with some fan questions. So yesterday on Instagram, I asked some fans, you know, do you have any questions for Kellin? And here is the first one. So you featured on loads of awesome songs. What have been, you know, what are some of your favourite features that you've been on?
Love Race with Machine Gun Kelly was fun. Getting to do like daytime talk show with Ellen was crazy.
Oh, sweet.
Popping out of a Barbie box was pretty crazy. Although I was terrible at it. Couldn't get my way through that plastic. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I don't know. It's harder than it looks, kids. And then I'd say probably Magnolia Park is probably one of my favorites as well. And
they're a great band. Yeah. So. Another one is, do you still get nervous before you go on stage?
Yes. I think being nervous is a good thing. Like, if you're not feeling nervous before you go on stage, then you're probably just dead inside. You should have some sort of nerves always before you go on stage, because every show should be different. It shouldn't be, like, the same every single time, you know?
Okay, that's made me feel better.
There's a lot of reasons to be nervous. For me, right now, it's just, will my knees continue to hold up? Or, you know, if I pump jump again, will my back go out? Like, these are things that I get nervous about now. Before, not so much. But now it's just kind of like old brittle bones that I have, you know? I'm just trying to keep them in order.
I like it.
It's because I just doing too many pump jumps off of Jaime's freaking bass cabs back in the Collide the Sky, like, touring days with Pierce.
Love it. Well, as Avril Lavigne would say, you know, you're just a rock chick who likes to rock out, so, you know. Now, is there a certain song in a set on this tour that you get super, super excited for?
Kick Me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's like the second in the set, and it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the show.
Last one is, what is your favourite Sleeping with Sirens song? Like, is there a certain song that you kind of call, like, class as your baby?
For me, it's been like Leave It All Behind lately. I just love being able to like throw the mic out and hearing people sing that first chorus back. And I think that song just kind of, I think Kick Me as well, but like both those songs kind of reignited our career. So I feel like those songs are special to me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the Bronnie Show.
That was easy. That was way too easy. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
You were like conscious. You knew. You're like, he's got brittle bones. I gotta take it easy on him.
This is Bronnie on KCC Live. Follow Bronnie everywhere at Bronnie Music.